Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hello and welcome to Today We Learn number 38.
Number 38.
Yeah, listen to those beautiful numbers, one right after the other. Yeah. Guys, we've got a hell of a show for you today.
That's awesome.
Sorry to bust out the double hockey sticks right off the bat, but I feel very strongly about this one.
Watch your language, Dan.
Sorry, Razzle. Sorry. I know we have some...
Not safe for work.
I hope it's safe for work.
Now we need one of those E's on iTunes that we never put on them.
Any podcast is safe for work unless you are just blasting the audio through your speakers, in which case you're a monster to begin with.
Good for you.
Yeah, but no, today we have the wonderful Julieanne Smolinski.
Yes.
I stumbled on her name already.
She's
I can't believe
talented, very talented woman, very funny. This was a good episode.
Yeah, she's a very
really
talented
cool
writer. You may have seen her work on Twitter, where she is known as Boobs Radley. You may have seen it in GQ, xoJane, a number of other publications, and Netflix. But we'll let her tell you about that.
Yeah. We'll let her tell you. She'll be plugging all that awesome, really cool shit at the end, as usual. It was a really fun episode. I guess.
Yeah, I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day, a great Godzilla opening day.
Yeah, goddamn, how good is that movie? I'm saying that in case I haven't seen it yet because we were recording this intro.
This is coming from the past.
This is from the past, but I'm assuming
by the time we're in the future, I guarantee you're gonna love the way you look.
I'm hoping Godzilla's awesome, so I'll just pretend I've already seen it and say, "How awesome was Godzilla?"
Yeah. Like a kaiju foot stepping on a skyscraper. That movie crushed it.
Do you know how many of those headlines we're going to see if it takes number one?
Oh, yeah. Well, Neighbors already took number one from Spider-Man 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So looks like the neighborhood wasn't so friendly after all for a certain web slinger. Anyway, guys, we've got a fantastic show for you today. Julieanne Smolinski. Get excited. Yeah, I am.
All right. Let's fucking start it. Today we learn
number 38 with Julieanne Smolinski.
Today we learn. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Advocate of the future right now, and I want
Very pro-future.
I'm very pro-future, and I really like. Cool. I love the concept.
I'm hashtag Team Past.
Team Past.
I love the concept of electric cars, and I really want to get one. So
Did you see that documentary?
No. I need to though, but
which one?
Who killed the electric car?
Okay, yeah.
It's cool. They have a funeral for a car. It's very dramatic.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
That guest, that voice you hear, the lovely lady, is Julieanne Smolinski. Ladies and gentlemen, well, we'll just segue right into that. We've been talking and having some fun for a bit. You can put the headphones on.
She's a very talented writer. You may have read her stuff on xoJane, GQ, and, of course, her wonderful Twitter feed where you may know her as Boobs Radley, which I laughed out loud for quite a long time when I first read that.
I still love that name just because I'm a huge fan of fucking To Kill a Mockingbird. What's his name? The dude who played it was
who played Boo Radley or
Boo Radley? The guy who played Boo Radley.
It's
the awesome fucking
from Godfather.
Yes.
What's his name?
And
why am I blanking?
And he was in goddamn, he was in. He's so
Robert
good.
Duvall.
Robbie Duvall.
Mm-hmm.
He was in
Robbie D.
He was in Days of Thunder too, wasn't he?
My good friend Robbie D.
Wasn't he? He was in Days of Thunder too. I think he was in Robbie Duvall.
Yeah. He's been in everything, man.
He's such a good actor. But anyways, I'm a huge fan of him, and I can't think of his name.
And also that dude Gregory Peck for what he's worth.
Well,
that motherfucker Gregory Peck. Yeah, you know him.
Busting up them there chifferos.
But yeah, Boobs Radley. It's such a that's a good name.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And very funny, very talented.
So we usually like to start the show with having our guest either give us a fact that they've learned recently, or maybe something about themselves that people might not know about them. So do either of those interest you?
I'm an open book, so I don't think a fact about me is going to be interesting, but this is really ridiculous. For my entire life, this is going to be a fact, not about me, obviously.
Okay, absolutely.
I had never known how birds had sex. So I finally Googled it a month ago.
I can only imagine that Google search.
Well, okay, so birds have like a cloaca, which is like a all-purpose hole, but they don't actually have intercourse. They do a thing called a cloacal kiss, where they just put their little bird holes together.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, they exchange fluids.
Like a...
So hold on.
Birds don't have intercourse.
It's like infrared.
So
Yeah.
Or like Street Pass on a 3DS.
Yes.
birds don't have intercourse, but correct. But because here's the thing,
As scientists would say, birds ain't fucking.
Yeah, birds ain't fucking.
so then they pretend fuck, and then they end up having an egg, right?
Like they copulate, and this this was linked in a story about dinosaurs having sex, which is the same thing because scientists seriously have no idea how dinosaurs had sex because there's never been like an instance of two dinosaurs getting frozen like in flagrante. Yeah. So and also like picture like how can you think of a way that a stegosaurus could have sex with another stegosaurus?
I mean, I can think about it.
But like seriously, like they're how?
Yeah, no, it's
They would have to like hug with all of their limbs, and it just wouldn't. So they think that there's some sort of like similar thing that happened with
I'd imagine it would like pass through the skin somehow. Just link tails.
link tails
Link
and
tails
a little
and
heart
wish.
shape.
Yeah.
I do know because don't chickens like the chickens lay the egg first, and then the rooster comes and then fertilizes the egg, right? I think that's what happens because that's how like some vegans and stuff can eat eggs and they don't. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I feel like chickens don't also have sex.
No, it's the
eat
same
eggs.
thing with the cloacal.
Yeah,
Okay.
they because I think it's fertilized
then.
first.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know
some
that
reason I
app on
thought-
your phone, Bump, where
Yes.
you can
Yes.
trade information.
That's exactly.
Okay.
This
That's
is
how
that.
birds fuck.
Yeah.
But, okay. For some reason,
Inspired by
okay.
real birds.
Well, then I guess I don't know why some vegans eat eggs and some vegetarians don't.
Because they're
I thought it
liars.
was-
Because
Yeah.
they're lying to themselves.
Because they just wanted that sweet adjective.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was
because
not as
they were
sweet
like,
as they thought.
this guy doesn't know how birds have sex.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull one over on him.
That's so funny and true.
The perfect crime. Well, here, speaking of lies, this is a natural segue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pinocchio. Scientists recently determined that Pinocchio could have only told 13 lies before his nose would have become so long as to break his neck.
Okay.
So, Pinocchio, created in 1883 by Italian author Carlo Collodi. He's famous for his nose doubling in size every time he tells a lie.
Correct.
And in the book, he only tells 3 lies.
Okay.
So, his nose doubles, but it's not, gets to a sizable...
What kind of wood was Pinocchio made out of? Because it was like balsa wood. I feel like the
I
weight
don't think it was
wouldn't
balsa. This is a high-quality puppet designed to go on adventures
not
and be a
IKEA
real boy.
Pinocchio,
You're not
yeah.
going to make a real boy out of the same thing you make shitty airplanes out of.
matter. Fair enough.
But the strongest wood is that koa wood, right? Like the
Perhaps.
wood that's got like the highest.
Density.
I think. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
only found in Hawaii. It would
Yeah.
be like Hawaiian Pinocchio.
And Hawaii, to my knowledge, does not traffic in Pinocchios.
No, no creepy puppets in Hawaii.
But a man named Stefan Llewellyn of Leicester University's Center for Interdisciplinary Studies determined that Pinocchio's head weighed 4.18 kilograms, which is about 9.21 pounds.
I'm sorry. With how difficult it is to get a job teaching in academia, this is what this man is doing with his time.
Hey, there are academic journals that will take a wide variety of interesting subjects now. Look at Mechademia coming out of, I believe, it's University of Minnesota. That is like all about pop culture bullshit and ephemera.
Yeah, but he's doing physics experiments about a puppet.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
doesn't
puppeteers
exist.
probably pay for this class.
That's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
They need credit hours.
Yeah, puppet truthers.
They've got all that fuck you puppetry money just
wanna-
burning a hole in their
They want
pockets.
to intern
Look who's
at.
pulling the strings
They
now.
want to intern at Henson Studios. They need to take this
Yeah.
class.
So, his nose weighs roughly 6 grams
Okay.
with an initial length of 1 inch. From this calculation, he was able to extrapolate that by the time it grew to 140 meters, the downward force exerted by his nose would cause his neck to snap, thus ruining Jiminy Cricket and Geppetto's evening. And basically, this works out to the 13th lie, the 13th time his nose doubled in size. It just becomes too much for his neck to bear and just snap.
I'm not
explains why there's never a
entirely
sequel.
familiar with the story. Can his nose retract at all?
Well, in the Disney movie, I
yes.
think it did.
Yeah.
When he was honest, it retracted.
Oh, okay.
But Honest John, the fox.
The fox.
No, I don't know. The Disney cartoon. There was there
yeah.
was, but I've never read the actual book. But if I guess he became human before it. He told 13 lies.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So just don't.
Yeah,
tell
it-
Because he didn't
Apparent-
die horribly.
According to a random cha-cha question and answer, yes, when he tells the truth, his nose shrinks back to normal.
Oh,
Thanks, cha-cha.
thanks,
it
Cha-cha.
shrinks all the way back to normal.
I don't know all the way.
So you could just tell like 12 lies, and then all of a sudden just tell one
And
little
then
truth,
one truth.
and then boom.
Yeah. You just got to be careful about slipping that truth in there before.
So just tell a truth every time you tell a lie, just to be safe.
Pinocchio, do you like my sweater?
Yes.
Screams.
I mean, I don't not like it.
Yeah.
What if his nose made a noise? What if it made a noise like it's tied to his own? Mortimer Marker.
Yeah.
I'm still angry that Stefan Llewellyn has a job.
Yeah.
Well, here's something. Okay, while we're talking about weird jobs and teachers and all of that stuff, and Stefan Llewellyn was a professor, and he was a teacher, obviously, and he figured this out. Mm-hmm. Here's a fun fact about another teacher, a gentleman by the name of Don Rawitsch. I'm saying that wrong, probably. He invented Oregon Trail. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the game Oregon Trail. But I'm very
familiar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very familiar
I played
with
a
Oregon
grueling pace.
He was a senior at Carleton College in Northfield, Minnesota, and he taught an 8th grade history class. He was also a teacher. He was a student teacher, albeit, though, and he used HP Timeshared Basic running on an HP 2100 mini computer to write a computer program that helped teach the subject. So essentially, a student teacher invented the game Oregon Trail. Rawitsch recruited 2 friends and fellow student teachers, Paul Dillenberger and Bill Heineman, to help. And it was the Oregon Trail debuted. He first introduced it to the class he was teaching on December 3rd, 1971. Oregon Trail has been around since 1971.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Now they're up to Oregon Trail 5 or something like that. I remember I bought one back when CompUSA was still a store.
I remember CompUSA.
And they introduced some really shitty full motion video graphics to it as well. So spent all this time kitting out my wagon, buying extra yokes, tongues, sets of clothing, all the stuff you're going to need for a nice fun-filled adventure on the trail. I'm out on the trail for all but 2 minutes when suddenly a little screen comes up that says, "You've been mauled to death by a mountain lion. Game over."
Mauled? That's a new one.
Yeah. Straight up murdered.
I think this is weird. I just played the emulator version probably 2 weeks ago, and it's mega janky.
Of course.
But I remember the enhanced version with the really kind of
bright
good
colors.
looking. Yeah, I think that, when
where it wasn't just the black and green screen.
Yeah, it was like a CD-ROM thing.
Yeah.
I do remember. Do you remember that kind of grinding noise that
yes.
CD-ROM games would make?
Yeah.
And you just kind of sit there waiting for something to happen. But it was all if you tried to talk to somebody, it would take 4 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the
They never had
adorable
anything.
hunting sequences.
Yeah, those were great.
Shoot the cutest animals you've ever seen.
Yeah.
You could name all your kids, and then it'd be so-and-so has dysentery.
Just stuff your wagon full of X's
lose-
that you don't like.
Exactly.
You lose...
Yeah. Ford it. Yeah. Cock the wagon.
You lose 3 days.
Sorry, Becky.
When in doubt, always ford the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite is the pay an Indian 5 sets of clothing.
Yeah,
That
pay the engine.
There's some clothes horse Indian who just loves prairie outfits who's like, hey guys,
I cannot get enough of your
I
bonnets.
can't get enough.
You cannot carry this much meat.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I'm still hunting.
Yeah, sorry, we just left a big old pile of meat back there,
Yeah.
so first come, first serve.
We just
do
killed
not
all
use
of
every
the
part of the buffalo. Yes.
That game was so fun.
It was really fun. It still is fun.
Yeah.
It still is really fun.
Well, did you guys ever play? There was a bunch of spin-off series as well. Did you ever play Africa Trail or Amazon Trail
No.
or Maya Quest?
no.
Nope.
So Amazon Trail is probably the second most popular. I've talked to a lot of people about this
I
because
played eBay Trail.
I played a lot of great. I played a lot of these educational games growing up. And Amazon Trail, you were basically riding down the Amazon in a canoe, and you could get off to take pictures of the wildlife and go spear fishing. Unless you hit Neil, then you got electrocuted.
Oh my
You met
God.
people like John Ford, who was opening an indigo plant to harvest the stuff from the forests.
Wow.
Yeah. But Africa Trail, you were biking across Africa, and it was just
That seems
brutal,
really ill-advised.
unforgiving. You would always die halfway through because you ran out of frickin' sun-dried tomato paste or whatever you're trying to keep yourself alive with.
What year did these trails take place? Because the Oregon Trail took place during the Oregon Trail year.
Yeah. I think it's 1848, right?
Something.
Yeah, I think around there.
If that's right, I'm going to be so impressed with myself, but I don't think it is.
Africa Trail. We have a listener from
Africa
South
Trail.
Africa. I believe his name's Nick, if I remember correctly. I wonder if he's played it, because shout out to him. Thanks for
Africa
listening.
Trail?
Yeah, Africa Trail. He may have played it. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't say. Oh, I remember. I think you get sent back in time in Amazon Trail because it opens with you asleep in bed. Then you're visited by like a jaguar spirit.
Educational.
You'd be surprised. I remembered these vague facts.
Well, it's like Back to the Future when he's like, "Oh, it's been very educational."
Yeah. I'm gonna say turn of the century.
Turn of the century. All right.
Yeah, that's a good turn.
Sounds,
That's my favorite turn.
Yeah, and you were spot on the money. 1848.
What was the Oregon Trail? Goddamn, I learned that today.
And there was
amazing.
Yukon Trail too, where you had to hike to the Yukon to get gold.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I like that.
But I have a question.
Yes.
Because I know that you could die on the Oregon Trail, and that was obviously the way of losing. But if you just rested and ate full portions and stopped a lot, if you just get there late, is there a way to lose?
It's
class runs out, like computer class.
Runs out.
Yeah, exactly. You have
computer class runs out.
But if you have like all the time in the world, then why not just like stroll to Oregon?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Oregon Amble.
Well, because wintertime would come, right? And then eventually you'd get cold.
Oh, that's
I think you're trying to beat the winter.
Okay.
Because
So-
seasons are a thing.
You might freeze to death.
You could
'cause-
just stay at Chimney Rock for like a year, though, no? If
it's
you
my
wanted
new
to.
life here now.
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't played the
live
game
here.
in probably 15, 20 years.
Oh, yeah?
Oregon's
So
a
I'm gonna
cruel
have to-
fallacy, a promised land of
I'm going to
lies.
have to check this simulator out.
Yeah, it's
and play
pretty
it.
great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Independence, Missouri was pretty banging, so I don't know why we left.
With
in
all of
first place.
the MIDI music,
Yeah.
the ear bleed.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dozens of tones.
While we're talking about locations, I guess, and states or countries or et cetera, here's something.
Geography.
Yeah, while we're talking about literally anything, let's talk about literally anything else.
Here's something completely. Yeah. While we're talking about stuff, here's a cool bit of interesting stuff. Norway is officially known as the Kingdom of Norway. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
That's all the fact I have. But
That's it. There's no
that's the
more.
coolest. That's all the fact I need. I want to live in a kingdom.
We used to until 1776, when some raucous types decided they were going to advocate for independence, ruin it for the rest of us
God.
loyalists.
Why can't we be like? Why can't kingdom? We should just be like the Kingdom of the United States with a democracy.
With a democracy.
Dot with a democracy.
Yeah, our president king. Just throw a hyphen in there.
Yeah.
There's
Good.
one. I think it's Luxembourg that is technically like a grand duchy that's got a duke as a leader.
Okay.
I don't know.
It
There's
is. It
one
is
of those.
the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg.
Yeah, it's got a great name.
Oh, that's awesome.
That-
Duke.
yeah.
My
run by a
favorite Duke is Earl. Of Earl.
the Duke of Earl.
The Duke of Earl is my favorite Duke.
I think is there another Duke? There's the baked beans dog.
Yes.
He's
The
a Duke.
colors, Duke. The colors. That was the old popsicle commercials.
Oh yeah,
There's Marmaduke.
Marmaduke. Oh yeah,
I just call him Marma usually.
Marm.
I don't like
Yeah.
that suffix.
Oh Marm.
That's funny. So okay.
Well-
so Dukes are douche. What's the word?
The Grand Duchy, Duchy.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
what
sort of.
locations are called. that
Yeah.
have Dukes.
That are run by dukes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. I always thought Dukes was just like a
king.
pawn
It's
to
like
a king,
kingdom.
like an assistant to a king or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
Assistant to the regional king.
assistant to the regional king. I think if you're not the king and you're a prince, that you're a duke, right?
I think it depends on your holdings.
Yeah.
Because,
Let's just all agree that British
Yeah.
people are ridiculous.
exactly. Resistance is futile.
That's awesome. Good.
It's below a monarch. That's thanks, Wikipedia.
Lame.
That's super helpful.
It's a sub-monarch.
Yeah, it was originally... It was used in Republican Rome to refer to a military commander without an official rank. And later
So
came,
a loser, basically,
later,
a Roman
exactly,
loser.
like, total lame-o.
Yeah.
Latin from lame-o.
Who still gets a cool house, I imagine.
Yeah.
You get a cool house and you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I basically, if you're a duke, you're not a king, or you're a university.
Okay.
You have some options.
Cool.
But let's go back to Africa Trail for a
Yes,
second.
let's go back to Africa Trail.
Because in Africa, along the coast, piracy has been an issue in recent years. They made a movie about one such instance, Captain Phillips.
Yes. Yep.
Fun film. Not
Yeah.
fun, I guess that's not the right word to use.
It's entertaining.
And yeah, exactly.
It's edge of your seat.
Yeah, it's as high entertainment as
On the high
watching a man
seas.
get kidnapped
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
But the British Navy, according to an article from The Guardian in 2013, the British Navy repels Somali pirates by using the music of Britney Spears.
Huh.
Oh, wow. It depends which album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They said that they used songs like "Oops, I Did It Again" and "Baby One More Time"
Goddamn, those
to
are
scare off Somali pirates.
What's the one that she wrote about email? Email my heart?
Yeah.
I feel like that would
What
be the
about
one that would
If You
drive me
See
away.
Yeah, well, usually,
That's such a good
you know,
song.
you got to play the hits first. If the
Yeah.
pirates stick around, then you move on to the B-sides.
Toxic.
Yeah,
was
then the
good.
B-sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toxic is a
Here's the
great
deal.
song.
I like Britney Spears. I've seen her in
Yeah,
concert.
well,
a
here's
couple
the
times.
thing.
Oh, my
Absolutely.
God.
Huge fan.
That's
According
amazing.
to Merchant Naval Officer Rachel Owens, her
Yes,
songs
sir.
were chosen by the security team because they thought the pirates would hate them the most. These guys can't stand Western culture or music, making Britney's hits perfect.
Yeah.
As soon as the pirates get a blast of Britney, they move on as quickly as they can.
We don't want to steal all their
Wow.
Yeah.
belongings. They can have Britney
So
Spears.
pirates are just haters on the high seas.
Why don't pirates just wear, like, headphones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if they get noise-canceling headphones, they won't be able to hear the giant, like, foghorns of the boats when their
That's
skiffs
true.
get trampled.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. So are these boats just, like, floating around the ocean, just blaring, like, noise?
No, I
polluting
think
the
it's
ocean?
once they realize there are
They're being...
Somali
they're
pirates.
being targeted by pirates.
I gotta tell you, those are some Somali pirates who give up pretty easily.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, a single song. The bounty is surely not worth it.
No.
I've sat through much worse music at like a friend's birthday party at a bar. These
friend's
pirates
concert.
don't want it that badly. Yeah,
Or like a wedding or something.
exactly. Yeah. If I have to hear YMCA,
Oh, man, that's funny.
We play them a recording of my middle school recital.
that's a great idea. It should
Yeah.
be children singing because there's
Yeah,
nothing
Kids
worse.
Bop.
Kids Bop,
Kids
Volume
Bop.
7.
Oh.
Or Jock Jams.
I'm sure that's somewhere in
Jock
Guantanamo.
Jam.
There's just the
Jock
Jock
Jams.
Jam cell.
Although
Jock
Jock
Jams.
Jams could just make them really pumped up to
Yeah.
start pirating.
Fighting piracy since Jock Jams 1. Jock Jams, I remember those. Those
on,
were
those
like
are
CDs.
great.
Do people know there's like Kids Bops, and they still have the CDs, but I feel like it's interesting because there's always like volume this and volume that, and that makes sense when you're having like an actual tangible medium,
Yeah.
like a compact disc or a CD. But how do you have like volumes when it's just released on the internet? Like,
Well, it's just a matter of what batch you release at what time
Yeah.
and
That's
like
true.
what heading you want to
Yeah.
put them under.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Now that's what I call
Alrighty.
music.
Yeah, volume 300,000.
I love those commercials. Those
Yeah.
are great.
I miss the old like monster ballads.
Oh, I love Monster Ballads.
Yeah.
Those
Monsters
are really
of
good.
Rock.
Monsters of Rock. The Monster Ballads commercial, though, that was like how you know you'd stayed up too late.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
uh-oh.
I have entered a no man's land
Yep,
of
there's Mr.
entertainment.
Biggs to be with you. Time
Yeah.
to go to bed.
That's a good
Yep.
song.
It is a great song. It's a good karaoke hit.
The only ones to be.
Yeah, you got
I
it.
know if we have the rights to this song.
You only sang it for 10 seconds.
Yeah,
That's fine.
exactly.
It's
All
fair
right, we're
use.
good. Fair
Yeah.
use.
That's a good song and more.
Yeah, exactly. Dot, and more.
You'll hear that song and more.
For 14 low payments of $9.95.95.
Yeah. It just got the scroll list. That's a good song. That's a good song. And then there's always like the
Like
two that you're
Loverboy or something that you're like,
Yeah, I'm like,
what is that on there?
all right, I
I
guess so.
guess.
That's not
Every
a ballad,
CD needs a
but-
track to skip.
That's so goddamn funny. That's funny. Here's something I learned the other day. People are always like, "Hey, when's Memorial Day?" Or I don't know when that's coming up.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, Mother's Day was just recently, and that I
That's-
believe
yeah.
was the.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Clever.
Oh,
Time travel, you guys.
time travel.
Weird.
Inside jokes, guys. No, our audience is fairly smart. We're recording this on Mother's Day. If you didn't get,
I
the
can't
joke
wait
there.
for Father's
Which
Day.
I'm an idiot. I just was like, wait a minute, it is Mother's
Did I miss
Day.
it?
Hold on.
Mother's Day is the second Monday of May.
Uh-huh.
Always.
Yeah.
Always and
Apparently,
forever.
yeah. And I learned this the other day too. The last Monday of May is always Memorial Day in the United States. Here, for those of you listening not in the United States, Memorial Day is a day, a holiday we celebrate on the last Monday of May.
Yeah, meant to commemorate those who have given their lives and fallen in armed service
Yeah.
for the country.
Yeah. it's
Originally known as Decoration Day,
Yeah.
and it was meant to commemorate Union and Confederate soldiers who fell during the Civil War.
Yeah.
I could see how that could be confusing.
you
Yeah.
decorate like with flair and like like buttons, and you decorate your house.
But it was just for, you didn't want to leave Johnny Reb out, so they were like,
You're
yeah, we
and
feel...
Johnny!
Yeah.
And States' Rights McGee.
So then they changed it to just Memorial Day. The first Memorial Day was celebrated on May 5th, 1866, in Waterloo, New York.
Yeah.
Waterloo, New York, not to be
And
confused.
Pitbull performed.
Not to be confused with the Waterloo Napoleon
Mr. Worldwide
was at,
himself.
or the Waterloo. Water
Not to be
park from
confused
Bill
with
and Ted's.
that
ABBA
place
song.
that did not treat not the ABBA song
Yep.
or Napoleon's worst vacation
or
spot.
the water park in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, where would Napoleon go? Waterloo. History facts encased in jokes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, movies of our childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Memorial Day. So there's that.
And that's not the only holiday in May. Am I right? Am I right? Fact sheet.
Am I right? Nope, you're not.
May 25th is Towel Day in tribute of Douglas Adams' seminal The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And, A Hitchhiker's Guide, one of the lines is, don't forget to bring a towel. You never know when you're going to need it when
Is
you're in
that
space.
Douglas Adams' birthday, or why is that the specific date?
Well,
Oh.
did you?
No, go ahead, Dan. I'll let
No,
you read it.
I don't know offhand.
It's not offhand. On this day, fans carry a towel with them, as described in the Adams Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, to demonstrate their appreciation for the books and the author. The commemoration was first held in 2001, 2 weeks after Adams' death on May 11th, 2001.
So,
assuming it was derived.
A respectful time passed. Then they're like, let's have a towel day.
Let's have a towel day. So anybody you see with a towel that day,
Yeah.
is a very old virgin.
I can give you 42 reasons why this is an
42
excellent day to
reasons.
celebrate.
I'm looking up his birthday right now, though, just in case, because it could be. But what a bummer to die
'Cause
2
otherwise
weeks
it
Yeah,
sounds-
before you're
right? Missing all that cake
that'd
and those presents.
That would be a bummer.
Now that's a surprise party. Preempt their
Your
surprise
death.
by straight up dying.
Yeah.
Nope. Douglas Adams was born on March 11th. So there
Dumb
you go.
birthday.
Oh, wow.
I would never
Nothing-
be born on that day.
Nothing
Yeah.
important happened on that day in history.
Yeah. He likes the number 11, evidently.
Apparently.
And
Yeah.
42. But a bump,
42.
While we're talking about books, I guess Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was a book. Here's a little fun fact I learned. Shrek, the movie Shrek, was actually a book. It was based on a
What?
book. Yeah, the movie Shrek was based
It
off
wasn't
of
just a whimsical series of ogre tales?
No, Shrek is a picture book, obviously, written and illustrated in 1990. So it's been around. It was way before the motion picture came out, by a gentleman by the name of William Steig, Billy Steig, about a young ogre who finds the ogre of his dreams when he leaves home to see the world. The name Shrek is derived from the Yiddish Shrek. I didn't say that Yiddishly because I didn't want to. My throat already hurts. Meaning fear or fright. So in Yiddish, Shrek means fear or fright. And the book served as the basis for the popular Shrek film series for over a decade.
I remember those books, but I don't remember them being anything like the movie at all. I don't think that he's Scottish. I don't think that he's particularly lovable.
Here's a fun fact.
I don't
The
remember
reason
a donkey making waffles.
Here's a fun fact. The reason he's Scottish is because Mike Myers can do like 2 accents.
That's
One of
the
which
other
is
one.
and the original voice of Shrek,
Farley.
was Chris Farley. I really hope one of these years, I really hope DreamWorks decides to release the recordings, because they have. Chris Farley had like 3/4 of the movie or a quarter of the movie recorded.
Wow.
Before he died, and it originally was supposed to be Chris Farley. Then Mike Myers took over once Chris Farley died, and then he turned it into like the Scottish.
Scottish
Yeah,
ogre.
he'd even recorded part of the dialogue, but then they had to.
Wow.
They
Oh,
had
that's so
to,
sad.
So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear Chris Farley's take on it, because if you imagine like what Shrek looks like, and then just think of Chris Farley's playful kid character,
Yeah.
you could. I mean, you totally could see that.
Yeah, you definitely can. That's crazy.
Yep. So Shrek, yeah, there we go. I'll tell you what's a good DreamWorks movie while we're talking about DreamWorks movies. How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon was excellent.
I'm so
Real?
excited
I have
for the
not
new
seen
one.
that.
It's well worth your time.
It's well
I
worth your
feel
time.
I feel weird watching kids movies when I'm not
By yourself.
wanting,
Yeah.
and I don't have a child. If
Yeah.
it's-
Have
All
you
right,
seen Frozen?
just get an American Girl doll.
I saw Frozen.
You seen Frozen?
Well, I was okay. I had a week when I was traveling a lot, and I really kind of ran out of movies to watch on a plane. So I was like, I'll watch Frozen. But also, I was like plane drunk, so I it made me very emotional.
Yeah. So what's your opinion on Let It Go?
Like, do I think it's a good song, or?
Do you think it deserves all the hype and accolades it's received?
Well, it's like a power song, and little kids love it. I think the lyrics are super weird.
Yeah.
But it's got some soaring notes in it. So
Yeah, but
sure.
What about
politic answer?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think
Don't
of
want to piss off Idina Menzel.
No, I don't. I'm afraid of her.
Yeah, but the important question is what do you think of the song "Do You Want to Build a Snowman"?
I don't like as maybe previously stated, I'm not a huge fan of the sound of children singing.
Yes.
So.
Oh, well, my notes were
But
wildly
she
off
wants to
base.
build a snowman.
I had super into kids singing.
Super into kids singing, yeah, no, but I know, I think that that's actually the composer's daughter singing, so I'm just shitting all over this movie. It's terrible. No, I think it sounds great. She sounds good for a little kid, but it's not anything that I would want to listen to in my car.
Do you want to build a snowman?
We don't have rights to that either.
No, don't have that one.
Yeah.
But I did download Let It Go, and I do sing it a lot.
You can't not sing it.
You can't not, so.
God damn, it's a good song. What about, while we're talking about kids movies, have you seen the Lego movie?
I haven't, which I feel terrible because I love Chris Pratt.
That one was fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's also got a really catchy song. You won't stop singing.
Yeah, it'll be stuck in
really?
your head for quite some time.
Yeah.
Everything is awesome.
That's the song.
That's the song?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it is awesome.
I think that it came out like the same week as, I don't know, like some movie about depressed South American women. One of those things where you're like, I can't go see the Lego movie.
Yeah, I have to
There
do
are
the
adult
responsible
things
thing.
to do, yeah.
Yeah,
But I should. I'll watch it.
that's very good. You'll
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Well,
It's really funny, like really fucking funny too.
Really?
Like it's like an adult. It's like Chris and Phil Lord did it. Chris Miller and Phil Lord, they wrote and directed it.
Okay.
yeah, and they previously
They've done
did
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs,
21 Jump Street,
21
and
Jump
also Clone High.
Oh, I
One of
love
my
Clone
favorite
High. I
shows.
love Clone
They
High.
did that, and it's like Warner Brothers, I think, did it because they had all their characters. It's like Warner Brothers came to them and said, "Make the funniest, best movie you can for February," and they did just out of Legos.
Really?
Like it's so funny. It's and it's a great story too, like a great moral and everything, and it's just hilarious.
Well, as soon as I can watch it completely legally, I will.
Well, it's yes. I had something in my throat from saying the Shrek Yiddish.
Did you have a bit in there? Was a torrent of air?
Yes. yeah. I had something about pirating.
well,
I had a pirate fact.
speaking of pirates.
Speaking of movies and fighting against injustice, Die Hard. Great
Hard.
movie. My second favorite Christmas movie.
God damn. What's your first? Gremlins or
Muppet
Lethal
Christmas
Weapon?
Carol.
Oh,
Muppet Christmas
Okay.
Carol.
That Muppet Christmas Carol is your favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I just have a very strong emotional attachment to that from my
It's
youth.
so.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
it's
what.
pretty good.
That movie is so almost verbatim from the book. It's so good. It's a very good one. It's not my favorite Christmas movie.
Singing rats in the.
Whoa.
It's
You're
pretty
telling me
good.
Dickens had a little rabbit man who went off to find fetch a fat goose from
similar.
the butcher's window?
Well, okay, whatever. The narration was very
Very similar. I picture Scrooge as Michael Caine too.
Yeah.
Right. That's
I'd
kind
say
of how
that.
you.
I mean, I picture Scrooge as Scrooge McDuck. But
Scrooge.
it's because, as the listeners know, I'm a huge fan of DuckTales.
Yeah. That's a
Charles
great show.
Dickens DuckTales.
Charles Dickens DuckTales. Yeah.
Anyways, Daniel, you had some Die Hard.
Yeah,
facts.
so Die Hard. I was reading about this recently, and I found it very interesting because Bruce Willis was actually the 6th choice to play John McClane.
Don't tell him that.
He was-
would make him really.
I'm sure he knows this. Five other actors had been
keep in
offered
mind-
the role prior to him.
Keep in mind, he was also a sitcom actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
when
this
he was offered it. So it was
taking an action role for him at the time was kind of
very unheard of. When he got cast as the role in Die Hard, everybody's like, "What? Like an action movie? Like no way!" Because he was he's a sitcom
him,
star.
Bruno.
He was a black and white sitcom
Bruno.
star. Yeah.
Wait. Who was before him?
So before him, in order, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Burt Reynolds,
Ah, yes.
That would've
Richard
been an interesting
Gere,
movie.
Harrison Ford,
Okay.
and Mel Gibson.
I like Mel Gibson and I like Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, and
I mean, I like all those guys. Don't get me wrong.
I'm trying to imagine John McClane as any of those other people.
That's really difficult just because it's so ingrained. but-
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, here's a fun fact. I think I mentioned this on the podcast real quick. Well, while you say Mel Gibson was supposed to be Johnny McClane.
Yeah.
Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance, with a V as I call it, DHV.
In the
DH
interest
with
of
a V.
time, yeah, clearly.
DH3 with a V.
Just in case you're in a rush.
Yeah.
DH3 with a V. Die Hard with a Vengeance was originally a sequel to a Lethal Weapon movie, which it starred Mel
Yeah.
Gibson and Donnie Glover.
Donnie Glover.
Danny Glover. Danny Glover. Donnie Glover was a small
Detective
child.
Murder.
Yeah, Danny Glover, Melly Gibbs, and
Melly
Danny
Gibbs.
Glover.
Melly Gibbs
Melly
and
Gibbs.
D-Glove.
Melly Gibbs.
Which, if you think about it, makes sense because with a Vengeance had Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson, Sandy J.
As
So
what was his
it's
name?
almost
it
like
was
very
a white guy,
transparent,
black guy
white and
again,
black guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, Danny. You have more facts
Well, it's
about
funny
that.
you mention that because the original script for Die Hard was actually based on an unused script for Commando 2, so a sequel to the Schwarzenegger film
my
Commando.
God.
So that's probably why he was offered the role first. And it's actually based on a book called Nothing Lasts Forever, which in and of itself was a sequel to a book called The Detective, which was adapted into a thriller of the same name, starring Frank Sinatra in 1968.
Yes, I remember.
And because of a
there.
weird clause in Sinatra's contract, they had to offer him the role in Die Hard first before anyone else. So,
Wow, I bet that day that he made them all wait was pretty great.
yeah, so they were legally obliged to offer this 73-year-old actor the role of John McClane in Die Hard.
God, that would have been
Additional
amazing.
fun fact, at the time, Sinatra's most recent film was a comedy western called Dirty Dingus McGee.
I just imagine John McClane crawling through the rafters
my
saying,
God.
luck be a lady tonight, while he's like, yippee-ki-yay.
I wish that somebody would remake Dirty Dingus McGee, though. I want to know what that film is about.
It
I
was
bet I could guess.
a comic 1970 anti-western film starring Frank Sinatra as the titular outlaw and George Kennedy as a sheriff out to capture him. 5.0, 5.3 out of 10.
5.3 out of
IMDb.
10.
Yeah, the Nothing Lasts Forever, the trilogy. It was like a
Roger Ebert gave it a 1 out of 4.
it was an actual the John McClane. It was Die Hards were originally the book, literature franchise back in the day, and the actual book is actually very similar to the movie. Very similar.
Really?
Yeah, to Die Hard the movie. If you read the Wikipedia plot synopsis, it's like, oh yeah, I could see how they made it into Die Hard.
Oh.
I mean, there wasn't. I doubt there was a use of. I doubt they used yippee-ki-yay motherfucker in there, but
Really?
yeah, maybe I doubt it.
Oh, I thought you said there was. I was
Yeah.
like, jeez.
I just want to
That was
hear
a whole
Frank
chapter.
I thought that was a
whole
just
chapter.
that repeated.
And that was
Yeah.
in 1968 too. When was Roy Rogers? When was that popular? That had to have been earlier, right? Because if the book originally, because John McClane in Die Hard was a fan of Roy Rogers and Al Powell.
Oh, yeah.
Reginald L. Johnson, the dad from Family Matters, would call him Roy on the walkie-talkies. He would call him Roy or Cowboy because he said he was a big fan of Roy Rogers.
Yeah, that was like the 30s through the
A long time
60s.
ago.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It's been a minute for Roy.
It's been
It
a
has.
minute.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Sylvester Stallone too, and movies that used to be movies, Cobra, the movie
Cobra Cabretti.
Cobra with Sylvester Stallone was originally supposed to be Beverly Hills Cop.
Interesting.
It was a rewritten script of Beverly Hills Cop, and the original Beverly Hills Cop was supposed to star Sylvester Stallone, but then they wanted to go more
Thank
comedic.
God.
They wanted to go way more comedic with it.
Thank God they went with the Murph.
Yeah.
What we're learning is that there was just one movie in the 1980s.
Yeah, there's one script that they
This is
modified for
crazy.
everyone.
Yeah, it's like
For
Pretty Woman used to be
Used to be the gerbil.
the color purple. Yeah, exactly.
While we're talking about Stallone,
Yes.
in the original ending of Rambo, John Rambo was so like
Johnny Rams.
affected and like fed up with all the killing and murdering he'd done that he turned his gun on himself and pulled the trigger,
What?
thus effectively preventing
Rambo
sequels
sequels?
galore.
Well, that's why they called it. It's interesting that that was originally. I wonder what the original title would have been, because if he kills himself at the end, you can't say First Blood because
A blood.
yeah,
Possibly to be followed by
'cause
other
there's
bloods.
no second
We
blood.
don't know yet.
Rambo First Blood was the first one, right? Or was First Blood the sequel? It was Rambo.
No, it was First Blood. It's called
It's
First
First
Blood.
Blood.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like Raiders of the Lost Ark isn't Indiana Jones. It's just Raiders of the Lost Ark.
yeah.
So the first Rambo is First Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second is Rambo.
Rambo, First Blood
Yeah.
Part
Part
2,
two, yeah.
Second Blood, the First Blood name.
Blood name. Electric
Son of
Bloodaloo.
First Blood.
Son of First
Yeah.
Blood.
That's crazy. I had a friend recently who interviewed Stallone and said, well, and I was like, well, that could go either way.
Yeah.
And he was apparently the greatest interview, that he will answer anything. He's super prepared. He has like pictures on his phone. He's like, oh, you want to know a story about this person? Here's a photograph of me, which is
amazing.
awesome. That's
met-
great to hear about somebody.
When I originally first moved out here, a friend of mine is an agent, and we went to. He needed a DD. I don't drink or smoke. I'm sober, so I'm a great +1 to like. I'm a great +1 to Hollywood parties. If anybody wants to invite me to cool parties, and we went to a Christmas holiday party, and his brother was there, Frank Stallone. And
Frankie
Stallone, and he started talking to me. We started talking, and that was the worst mistake of my life because he wouldn't stop talking to me.
Oh,
He's
no.
a really
Oh,
weird
my
dude.
God.
Really
It's like
weird
the
dude.
Donnie Wahlberg of Stallones.
I just wanted to be like, hey, give me
gotta
your brother's
go.
number, guy. Let me talk to your brother. But Stallone, Sylvester seems like he's a really cool guy. Like,
Yeah.
self-made completely. Like, I respect the whole Rocky story and all of that, the writing and stuff.
He wore rented tux to the Oscars.
Yeah, like, it's very...
If
seems like a really cool
I
dude.
remember when I was way younger that before the movies, like in movie theaters, they would run like the popcorn trivia or like the real facts.
Yeah.
And there was one like Sylvester Stallone used to be a lion cage cleaner before he made it big in Hollywood. That's just what always burned
Those
into my
were
brain
great.
forever.
Yeah.
I miss those trivia or like the name scrambles.
Well, fun fact about the film that Stallone was in recently with Schwarzenegger, Escape Plan.
Yes.
The combined ages of the two action star male leads is 133 years old
my God.
because they are so fucking old.
That is awesome. That's great.
But more power to Stallone for being 67 years old and still making
He's a
action films.
beautiful old man.
Expendables 3 coming soon.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah. Is Chuck Norris going to be in that one as well?
I don't think so.
Well,
Oh, I thought he was.
Is he?
maybe I'll make a guest appearance. I
Chuck
know
Norris might
Fraser's
be in
going to
it.
be in this one.
Chuck Norris
Oh
and
my
Fraser
God.
Crane's going to be
Chuck
in it.
Norris
Yeah.
and Fraser Crane. It's going to just be a big Republican.
It's got Fraser
Exactly.
Crane.
Shoot 'em up.
It's got Fraser Crane. It's got Harrison Ford. It's got
Harrison.
Hopefully he's not going to wear the earring
Do you
because
think?
that's
Do you think Harrison Ford will be high when he films this movie?
he'll come down halfway through filming and be like,
Halfway through.
"What is
Where am I?
happening?"
I have no
They're
idea.
like, "Quick, we have 2 minutes of lucidity."
oh
Fraser's
and fucking
here.
the tax dude, the tax evader, Wesley Snipes. Blade
Wesley
is in
Snipes,
it.
the tax
Tax
dude.
evader.
Yeah, the tax evader. Like that's
You can call him
He
Blade.
probably wants to leave that part of his
Yeah.
past behind. He served his time. Come
Yeah.
on. He paid his
He
debt
did
to
his nickel.
society.
that's so funny.
Nickel.
Yeah, is that what you call a 5-year stint?
Yeah, it is.
If television is to
I
be
guess.
believed.
Wow, I didn't know we were
funny.
going to be throwing around that kind of terminology
Yeah,
here.
well,
I would have studied up.
Let's try
That's
to
funny.
try to elevate the discourse a little bit.
Well, we're approaching our time for the episode. Julianne, sell yourself here. Tell
Where can people
right.
find
Where
you
can
on the
people
World
find
Wide
you? Yeah,
Web? Do you have anything cool coming up?
Find me.
Promote.
Yeah, I have a piece in July's Cosmopolitan magazine, so you
Ooh.
can check that out. I learned some hot sex tips. For
All
the
500
summer.
of
All
them?
500 of things guaranteed to make your man stay with you forever.
Chain him in the basement.
Into the basement. That's the only sex tip.
Yeah.
It's he could never leave. And also, just in 2015, check out Grace and Frankie on Netflix.
Sweet.
Exciting.
Yeah, she's a writer on that. And can you talk about that?
I can't
Legally?
talk
give
about
us a
that.
little log
I
line?
can talk about that.
I know we talked about it earlier, and we were recording, obviously, but I don't know how much of that we'll front load with.
So it's from a little fantastic writer you might know named Marta Kaufman, who helped create a show called Friends, little show called Friends, and it's
yeah.
going to be starring Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin.
God damn
Oh my
on
God.
9 to
Yes,
5
it
fame.
is.
So that's
yes, it is.
Wow.
pretty amazing.
That's
It's gonna blow your doors off.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
My doors!
Your doors.
I only
Where'd they
have
go?
door frames.
Just
and
door
choo-choo
frame. I'm
beans.
sorry. It's gonna blow your Japanese tatami mats right off of your
My
door
mats.
frames.
The bamboo can't get wet.
Yeah. So that's and then just Boobs Radley at twitter.com.
Awesome.
Awesome. As usual, you can follow me on Twitter at my name is Razzle2.
And I am at OsteoFerocious. And if you'd like to follow the podcast, you can find us at TWL Podcast. We're on Facebook as well. Today we learned with Razzle and Dan. Want to send us an email? We'd love to read it, even if it's for discount pharmaceuticals or a free Xbox. That is TWLpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you need to sign up for a grocery store discount card and you don't want to use your email, use ours. We don't care. And as usual, we want to thank all of our listeners. We really appreciate you guys for listening. And we have quite a few listeners, quite a few who haven't given us a 5-star rating on iTunes yet. What the fuck, guys? Give us a rating. Please give us a rating.
I mean, live your life. At the end of the day, you got to live your life. As the great poet Drake said, I'm doing me.
I'm doing me, the great poet Drake.
The great
Only
poet
it was
Drake.
more like, honk. It was like that, right? That was like one of those foghorns.
You had the cover album where it was just geese?
I'm doing that. I was trying to do that. The foghorn.
An air horn.
The air horn.
Yeah.
And say it again. Just doing me. Yeah. In every Drake song, there's an air horn. I feel.
Yeah. I mean, every club banger should
and
have.
He's got like auto tune. I
Yeah.
can't do auto tune. I'm not an impressionist. But
Yeah, because I'm not a robot.
Listen, don't judge me, guys. You know what? Go do yourselves.
Yes.
Be you.
Do yourselves.
Live your lives.
Yeah.
Don't give us a rating. Fine. I don't care.
You can't. It has to happen naturally. We need it to be organic, like so many salads.
Speaking of organic and all that, there was a very funny video Jimmy Kimmel did the other day about going around asking gluten-free people if they knew what gluten was, and none of them knew what gluten was.
That's amazing.
Turns out, fun fact, gluten is some sort of protein. I still don't know what
Gluten,
it is.
it makes bread work.
Yeah, exactly. It keeps bread together.
I think it's in everything
keeps bread
tasty.
from flying apart.
It's much
and killing us all.
like cheese. It's on everything you want to eat.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. Drive safe. Have fun at work. Whatever you're doing. And as always,
Remember the Alamo, unless you forget.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks, guys.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.